Triumph has been synonymous with modern classics and neo-retros, and for some, maybe lady undergarments. Now, here in the Philippines, the Tiger line, which is their ADV and Tours, haven't done so well, which is a little bit of a shame because they're very good motorcycles. But I think that's about to change because the bike that we have today is one of the best Tours I've ever ridden. Let's find out more about the 2025 Triumph Tiger 800 in this episode of Beyond the Ride. Powering the bike is a 798cc liquid-cooled 12-valve dual overhead cam inline 3-cylinder engine that puts out 113 horsepower at 10,750 RPM and a maximum torque of 84 Nm at 8,500 RPM. You get a Showa 41mm upside-down fork up front and a Showa monoshock for the rear, both adjustable. For the brakes, you get twin 310mm floating discs up front with 4 piston radial calipers. For the rear, you get a single 255mm fixed disc with a single piston sliding caliper, both with ABS. All right, so let's talk about the aesthetics of the bike, which is a very subjective topic. I think it looks pretty good. It's modern. It kind of reminds me of the 660 Tiger, which is the smaller middleweight of this bike. It does have some nice accents, like this little polished aluminum bit right here for the foot pegs. One thing I do wish that would be different with the bike, I don't know if it comes as an accessory, but I wish the windshield and this little wind guard right here was smoked. Now, if you see the yellow colorway of this bike, it actually looks even better. Actually, that's my favorite Tiger 800 color. The black is okay, the gray is decent, but the yellow one really pops. You can, of course, adjust the windscreen right here. Just pull it up. And then you can push it down as well if you don't need it to be too high. Something that I did notice for the dash, which isn't TFT by the way, the dash, when you're sitting in the saddle and you're looking forward, it kind of is a little bit too low. It's not in the line of sight. So you kind of have to glance down a little bit to see the details of the dash. Now, speaking of the dash, as I mentioned, it is not TFT. And I personally don't think that's a big deal. But if you really wanted a premium feel for a motorcycle, it would have been a bonus for if it had a TFT instead of this. This is kind of the same dash that's on the Daytona and some of the other Triumph motorcycles. I think it's okay, but I know there's people out there, if for a premium brand like Triumph, they're gonna want premium parts, and the dash, for me at least, is okay, but for others, I think they would consider that a miss. So for the side profile of the bike, I think it actually looks rather sexy. I like it. Except that there's this little big, thing down here that we probably don't really need in the Philippines. There's a big catalytic. And you would probably take that out. And I know there's going to be some people there in the comment section that's going to be saying, there's a reason why that's there. It's for the noise pollution, for the pollution from the bike. And I get it. I totally understand that. But the laws in the Philippines are not as strict. We don't have the Euro 5 Plus situation here. And so, yeah, I would probably take that out because, I've got 800cc triple. I want to hear and feel all of it. So yes, it's not a full TFT screen, but it does still, does the job. It's got riding modes. It's got 3 different riding modes. It's got rain, road, and sport. Of course, it also has a phone connectivity. You can connect to the Triumph app. So yeah, it doesn't look as sexy as a TFT, but for me, it's not. It wouldn't deter me from getting this bike. I will say this though. I noticed this on the way here on the freeway. I guess because of the angle of the dash, it kind of is a little bit difficult to see under direct sunlight. So it kind of, first of all, you have to tilt. You have to kind of look down to see it, and then even when you look down, direct sunlight, it's not. It kind of reflects a little bit too much. For the wheels and tires, you get a cast alloy 17s front and rear. For the front, it's 120 by 70. For the rear, it's 180 by 55. Both wrapped in Michelin Road 5s, which are very good touring tires. It's got a wet weight of 214 kilograms, which honestly isn't too bad. You don't really feel the weight at all. You got a fuel tank capacity of 19 liters, and you can get approximately 20 kilometers per liter. Of course, that's depending on how you ride in the city and on the highway. It's got a standard seat height of 835 millimeters and a low seat height of 810 millimeters. I'm 5'6" with a 764 millimeter inseam. And this is what it looks like if you are somewhere in my height vicinity. That is the situation. All right, so this is the Pillion seat. You do have a grab rail right here. And, it's nice and elevated, so you're gonna be seeing over the driver, or, you're hugging the driver like that. Eee, sweet. So this is a bike made specifically for the road. It is a tourer, so it's for long distances. It's not a bike that I would be taking off-road. Now, is it capable to do some very light trails? Yes, but it's not meant for that. I mean, so people usually think ADVs or, this type of motorcycle, you can go off-road. This one is really will thrive on the road and of course on some twisties. Now, if you want something a little bit more off-road oriented, check out our review of the Triumph Tiger 900. All right, so let's do a quick sound test and listen to that new Triumph Triple. It does sound pretty good, actually. Okay, so it is a hot day, but let's talk about the seating position. In the seating position, well, for any tour ADV, you expect it to be comfortable, you can expect it to be standard, and it's upright, and I like it. This is the seating position that I enjoy the most because you can ride long distances in this position. The ergonomics of this really suit me well. Again, I'm 5'6". For somebody maybe taller than 5'10", close to 6 feet tall, it might be a little cramped, but for me and somebody close to my height and maybe even a little bit taller, I think it's okay. So in fact, I'm gonna go even further and say Jack, who is about 5'10", and he is, well, bigger than I am, he told me, he did ride this around a little bit, and he told me that for him it wasn't cramped at all, and it was actually fairly comfortable. So the windscreen, I noticed when I was on the highway, I did feel a lot of the air, but all you have to do is basically pull it up, and you're going to be protected from the wind. So it's not the easiest to pull up. Instead of pulling towards you, you kind of have to go straight up, and it's a little bit, or maybe you just have to get used to it, but it's not the easiest to pull up and down, but it definitely gets the job done once you do get it to the highest position. Okay, so the quick shifter is buttery smooth. It's typical for all Triumph motorcycles with a quick shifter. The Bonnevilles don't have a quick shifter, but the more modern bikes out there for Triumph, such as the Speed Triple, the Daytona, so on and so forth, those have quick shifters, and they work very, very well, just like this bike. So I did manage to get this bike on some city riding, and it handled it very well. It's very light on it when you're moving. It's easy to handle, it's easy to ride. So in the city, when the traffic is pretty bad, you can definitely maneuver the bike through the traffic. On the highway, that's where this bike really excels. You want to open her up, feel that power, and it just sings to you. On the twisties, it does even better. So if you think about it, it's good in the city, it's very good in the highway. On the twisties, I think that's where this bike really excels the most. So here's my question, right? Do you really need a sport tourer that can go almost 300 kilometers per hour? Do you really need a big, bad ADV out there when you're going long distances? Honestly, from somebody who owns a big ADV, a big sport tourer, the truth is this, right? You really don't need all of that power. You really don't need everything that bike can do. Yes, when you're on, like maybe SE Techs or maybe even the racetrack where you can maximize the power of those leader bike ADVs, I get it. That's where those bikes excel. But for some real world touring, this is really all you need. This is basically what you can max out this bike, have so much fun with it, and then go long distances as well. It's definitely something that I enjoy because I can ride this bike a lot harder than my own personal V4. Like I kind of tend to baby my bike. I would say 80% of the time I'm riding it. But with this, you really definitely can push it a whole lot more because it's just easier to handle than a big bad ADV sport tourer. So let's talk about the competition, right? The competition of this bike, I think, at least the ones that pop to mind immediately would be Yamaha's triple, the 900. So that's going to be the Tracer 900 of Yamaha, which is more expensive than this bike. Of course, it's a 900cc compared to an 800cc. So yes, it's got a bigger displacement. You can argue it's going to be more powerful. But you're talking about, I don't know, several 100,000 peso difference with this bike. And it's something that, once a Yamaha, once a Triumph, if you care about that, once European, once Japanese. But I think I'm happy with this. I really, really am. Another bike that's probably in the more premium category that would be looked at against this bike would probably be the BMW 900 XR. Again, bigger engine, bigger displacement, but I don't know. I mean, that bike was also significantly more expensive than this. So I think this actually, if you're looking at the competition, there's really no competition in this category because the other bikes are going to be a little bit bigger, also a little bit more expensive as well. So just like some of the other Triumphs out there, the service intervals are every 16,000 kilometers. And if you think about it, you can actually save money that way because other bikes, we're talking about maybe 10,000 kilometers before you have it serviced, some even lower than that. But if you're at the 16,000 kilometer range for the service intervals, you can actually save a little bit of money when you take it in for a PMS and so on and so forth. So before this, you had the Triumph Tiger 660 that shared the same engine as the Daytona, as the Trident as well. And that bike is great, right? It's great for the city, it's great for even long distances. But let's be honest, on the highways, on the expressways, it kind of lacks power. It kind of doesn't give you enough power when you get to the expressways. But this definitely answers all of those issues. You have enough power with this. You don't need more. This is something that I think if you like that type of riding for tourers, I think you definitely enjoy this bike. This bike for riders here in the Philippines, if you enjoy going long distances, going to places like further than Sagada, further than Baguio, so on and so forth, I think this bike is perfect. It really is. It's comfortable. You can ride it far. You can ride it for many hours and still be good, still be comfy. Obviously, if you have a little bit more off-roading when you get to these destinations, then it's going to be a problem. It's not meant for that. But it's definitely a tourer that you can take long distances, you can take on paved roads, enjoy it to the max. When you get to the twisties, you're going to even enjoy it a little bit more. And it's something that I think, for me anyway, for the type of riding that I do, because I'm not much of a super off-road person, I like it. I think this is great for me because it's easier to handle. You can max it out, you can push it. It's a lot of fun. It's a bike that's I think it looks good. It's a little bit of a head turner as well. I enjoy it. I definitely enjoy this motorcycle a whole lot more than I thought I would. In fact, Yeah, this might be my favorite Triumph motorcycle that is not a Bonneville. It really is. I think it's something that's everybody out there should give it a shot, try it out, and see if this bike is meant for you. So, if you're in the market for a sport tourer that is sporty, fun, approachable, yet still got loads of power, then the Triumph Tiger 800 can be yours for an introductory price of 699,000 Philippine pesos. That, my friends, is a pretty damn good deal. For more information about this bike and other MCs out there, log on to www.motodeal.com.ph. I'm Gene Rufino. Thanks for watching this episode of Beyond the Ride.